our mission is super, super important. And it came out of what I was seeing, and the women that felt so lonely and up against the whole world, and discouraged in that mid-career part of their journey. So our Career Climb's mission is to guide as many people who identify as women or non-binary in technology to the top of their career mountains as possible. And we believe that the world will be a better place when there's more tech products that are created by women, by people with different backgrounds and perspectives. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Saron. And while we recognize that the playing field is not yet even for women, non binary, and minorities in tech, we believe that the way forward is to get more of you guys to climb to the top, because then it will be easier for those who follow in your footsteps. We're forging a path up the mountain. And there's a lot of mountain analogies you guys will understand, because I'm a mountaineer. And I love climbing mountains. One of my mentors who is involved in career climb, and she's a mindset coach and trainer for us, is the first woman to climb Everest without oxygen. And it's all about planning and execution of the climb, and being, you know, breaking that trail for everyone. That's the way to equity. And it's amazing. We've been at it for about a year, a little less than a year. And so far we're seeing so many amazing results: promotions, successful negotiations, increases in visibility, increase in compensation. It's just fantastic. Next slide, Saron. And here is our vision. Hold on, let's see if we can get this. I've had to do this in the past. Yes. So we believe that when exhausted and burnt out female managers find their vision, become confident, develop their leadership, and lead with passion and purpose, it's a win-win for them, their teams, their companies, and most importantly, the world at large. So that's what we are about at Career Climb. Do come and register for our next free interactive product VP challenge. More on that in the event towards the end. I'll tell you how to go and join us for that. Saron, if we could just roll straight into the slide after next. Yes. So I want to present to you guys an idea and a concept. And that idea and a concept is that your calendar, your time that you have, your calendar is like a backpack on a climb. And Saron, if you just scroll a little bit higher, then this is great. So this is a picture of me. I'm in the foreground, and the only other woman on our 10-person climbing team is right next to me. We are on separate rope teams, and we are in Alaska. We're actually approaching, this is summit day, we're approaching the highest peak in British Columbia, Mount Fairweather. And you'll see we've sat down for a little break to hydrate, to eat, and then we're going to be off again. It's a 16-hour summit day round trip, so it was a huge adventure. And what you're seeing is our backpacks. So you can imagine, like, if you are going on a 16-hour summit day, you're going to need every ounce of energy that you've got. And at the same time, there are important things you need to take on that backpack with you, things that will help you survive, things that will help you in emergency, lots of equipment, water, extra clothes, a rope, all the things that will help and aid your survival and aid your mission. So the backpack is the most important part of the planning and the success of any climbing expedition. Go to the next slide. So get your pens and paper ready, because I'll be asking you a question. I want you to answer. I'm going to give you two choices. Actually, before I do that, let me present to you what packing for an expedition looks like. What goes into your backpack is very, very important. And so what you're seeing here is, this is from my successful expedition to Denali, which is the highest mountain in North America. And we are spending about 3 weeks on the mountain, climbing it and then climbing back down. And so what is going into our backpack is incredibly important. So each tarp there has the personal belongings. This is not even group gear. This is not tents or stoves or fuel. This is just our personal belongings. each tarp has the personal belongings of each climber. And the guides and the whole team is going to go around and vet every single item down to the lip balm to make sure that we're only taking what's essential. We're not forgetting anything that's essential, but more importantly, we're not taking things that are not necessary, because it all adds up. So my question to you is, in your current career, in your current life right now, Ciron, if you can go to the next slide, do you, this is option A, do you care more about, and look at your results, not what you think you should be doing. Do you find yourself caring more about A, fitting everything in thrown your way, or B, getting to the top, getting to your goal safely and efficiently? This is a picture from our expedition on Denali. This is our first day. We're in the beginning of the expedition. So our gear is full to the brink. Each of us, each climber carries about 50 to 70 pounds on their back. And then on top of that, we have another 50 pounds or so strapped to a sled behind us. So it is so important what we pack in there. So I want to see in the chat, do you find yourself right now in your current life and career doing more of A or B? A or B? I want to see some votes, guys. A or B? In the chat, type in the chat. Find that chat function, okay? Chandra is doing more of A, okay? Anyone else want to say, are you guys doing more of A or B? Are you trying to fit everything else in? You're like on top of that backpack, just trying to cram everything that's being handed to you? Or are you really careful about what you take with yourself? Okay, go to that chat function and type A or B. Yes, thank you. This is the default in the world of tech. This is the default. This is what we think will get us ahead. This is what we'll think will get the job done. This is what we think will get us to the top of the mountain, but that's not it. So Ciron, if you can get to that next kind of question slide. My next question to you guys is like, okay, most of you guys are saying you're doing A, but what do you think your boss would like you to do more of? What do you think your boss would like you to care more about, A or B? Do you think your boss in your company wants you to take everything that's coming your way indiscriminately? Or do you think your boss wants to care about what you take on and what you execute on? What do you think your boss cares more about? Okay, I want to see A's or B's in the chat. A is take everything indiscriminately. B, yes, thank you, right? So it's important to understand that this is not about you. This is about the success of the mission. So Ciron, if you could go to the slide that says the consequences of not vetting the yes. Okay, guys, I want you to understand that saying no is not about the no. It's about the yes. It's about vetting the yes. And I really want you to understand the costs of not vetting the yes. There's costs to you. I'll read it out to you because it's a little small on my screen. There's an assumption that someone always knows better. There's a feeling out of control, which gets you in powerlessness and victimhood. It leads to lack of credibility in the organization and lack of trust from your management towards you. Not only you are paying a cost when you say yes to everything and you don't vet the yes, but also your team and organization are paying a huge cost. Missed goals, burnout and overwhelm, lack of direction. The world at large is paying a cost. Like, they're not going to have a cool, inspirational role model to look up to. And they're probably going to get crappier products and experience because you weren't there to create the things that really mattered. Next slide. This is where I wanted to kind of, this was animated. This was animated because I wanted you guys to provide me with those answers. But you guys have seen this this matrix. It was originally used by Albert. It was originally used by Eisenhower, and then by Stephen Covey and the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And it goes on the top. It's you divide things by importance, not important or important. And then on the bottom, on the row side, you divide things by urgent and not urgent. And so if this slide was animated, I would have been asking you kind of square by square, what do you think the answer is to each of those scenarios? If I come to you and I want you to do something that you evaluate as not important, not urgent, then obviously the answer is no. Now, if I come to you with something that is clearly important and you understand the importance of it, but it's not urgent, then your answer is not right now. Let's find sometime in the future and let's commit to making it happen in the future. Not just kicking the can down the road, but really pulling out your calendar and saying, let's sync up again in a month and let's see if it makes sense to put it on the roadmap or on my plate. Now, if it's not important but urgent, there's a ton of things that are like, just like, we got to do this, but nobody has really questioned why it needs to get done, or it's like a lower, like it's a task that can be done by someone else. So, if someone else can actually execute it, and you can save your capacity and save your energy in your backpack space for something that is both urgent and important, then it's not going to be you. Then your answer is not me, but here's some ideas of who can who can execute this. Could be someone on your team, could be somebody else. Again, you're triaging, you're optimizing for the mission completion. Now, notice that only if it's urgent and important is the answer yes. So next slide, Saron, I want you to really, really take this in. You're aiming for the lightest backpack that you can. So you are saying yes only 25% of the time. In our group coaching programs, I have been known to put women on a quota, on a weekly quota of how many yeses they could say. And that has been incredibly helpful, because once they run out of yes for the week, they have to scramble. And because they know they only have a certain number of yeses, they're super careful how they use them, right? Because now there's like a finite space in the backpack that we can put things in. Again, no is not always no. It could be not now. It could be not me. It could be not ever. Next slide, Saron. So how are we delivering the no is the most important part. So I want you guys to understand that once you've arrived at the decision of what your answer is, incredibly important that you deliver it with an open and curious attitude. So important. Your body language, your eye contact, which means you turn the camera on if you're on Zoom. Your tone of voice matters. The attention. If you're typing away on your computer and you're clearly like looking over here, the person doesn't feel like you've really understood what the request is or what the importance is. You really are not there listening to them and hearing them. And then from that openness and curiosity, you ask questions. And the purpose of those questions is to vet the importance of what the request is relative to everything else that you could be doing, right? The urgency of it. Is it urgent? Why? What will happen if it doesn't get done? And then you want to understand the goal of the person and the dependencies, like why they may be attached to a certain path of execution. And most importantly, is it important how we get there? Or can we, I'm a cat lover, but I'll use this analogy. Can we skin the cat a different way? Next slide, Saron. And we're almost there. And I'll be popping you guys into breakout rooms to get a little bit of practice on this. These are examples of clarifying questions, but like, even if you don't use all of them or, even most of them, the most important question you get to use is why. The most important question is just why. Ask why. Be curious, like, why? How important is this? So a certain importance. Is it more important than Project X? Help me understand. Why is this important for who? What will be the consequence if I don't do this? What will be the cost if we do this? right? A lot of times, what I've heard from our clients who've gone out and had a quota of how many yeses they could say per week is that they've consistently come back and said, you know what, Lisa, this was very interesting because half of the time the person just said, oh, I haven't really thought through it. By asking these questions, the person had the chance to think more through the request. And half of the time they kind of said, oh, you know what? Never mind. I changed my mind. I agree with you. This is either not important or we should do it later or somebody else can handle it, right? So you are not pushing back necessarily. You're helping the other person think through what the request is and think through the importance and the urgency of their request. So you are helping them as well get more clear. So again, understanding the goal, understanding how you guys can get there. Is this the only way? Is there like a dependency on this being the only way? The urgency, the level of importance. So this is your assignment, and we're going to get you guys into breakout rooms. This is the scenario. It's a toy story. I love stories. I love stories. I'm a huge believer in stories. The women in our programs learn how to tell stories. We actually have an improv and an acting coach, believe it or not. So person A, listen carefully. Person A is going to be the VP of product at Toys Inc. They're in charge of growing and developing a popular line of educational products. And currently, your best-selling educational product is a collectible series of rubber duckies that sing the alphabet in the bath. Person A has a small team, designers, manufacturing engineers, yada, yada. Person B has recently been hired as the CEO of Toys Inc. One afternoon, they approach person A and they say, you know what? I needed to do something. Drop everything. Our biggest competitor has just launched a line of Nerf guns. They're eating away at our market share. They're flying off the shelves. I want you personally to just start developing a line of Nerf guns for our company right away. Okay. So person A is the VP of product. Person B is the CEO who wants to develop the Nerf guns right away and wants the VP of product to drop everything, develop the line of Nerf guns. So you're going to be put into breakout rooms right now. And I want you to take 5 minutes. So you're going to be in a 5-minute breakout room. I want you to be super efficient. Person A is going to have 2 minutes and person B is going to have 2 minutes. I'm sorry. Try to get both person A and person B. So do the scenario in reverse inside of the 5 minutes. So person A goes first, and person B is in there with them, and then you'll switch who's person A and person B, and then you'll be put into another breakout room while you're gonna go person A and person B. Saron, how do you guys want to figure out who's person A first?
So we will go alphabetically, right? So meet with your partner, say hello, figure out what their last name is, and then decide who's going to be A, who's going to be B in that scenario based on your last name.
Fantastic. So last name, person A is the alphabetically the first letter of your last names. I'm sorry, the one with the highest letter of your last names. And then try to switch. Don't spend too much time, guys. Don't overthink it. Person A, the VP of product, I want you to go through the vetting process and arrive at one of the answers. Go through the vetting process with person B. Ask those clarifying questions. And then either decide whether you're going to say no, not now, and agree on a later timeline, not me, and agree on owner, or if you're going to say yes. Person B, the CEO, the super eager CEO, pay attention to how you feel. Do you feel heard? Are you satisfied with that answer? Again, it's not about just like saying no. It's about, what was it? The science of disagreeing without being disagreeable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That is a thing. That is absolutely a thing. I think there's so many people that don't like confrontation because confrontation has a negative connotation to it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Which is why I prefer to use
All
the
right.
word like vetting or debate or discussion than like conflict
Yeah.
or confrontation.
Yeah. So it looks like people are coming back into the group. Don't forget, just click the sessions button and it'll get you back into the main meeting. We've got some more coming back in.
Drop in the chat. So as you guys are starting to come back in, I want to hear from person A, someone who had like an aha moment while they were in person A. If you guys did both person A and person B, I want to hear from somebody about their experience of being person A. What felt comfortable? What felt uncomfortable? Did you guys have any ahas during the role play? So I want to hear from somebody talk about their person A experience.
So feel free to drop it in the chat, or if you're feeling brave today and want to show your face up on the stage, we're more than happy. Just, yes, there should be a button there at the bottom to allow you to request to be on the stage, and we'll pull you up and you can share away.
I promise I won't bite. It's super, super fun. I would love to see you guys, your guys' faces, and just share. It doesn't matter if you're in your car or somewhere else. Like, honestly, it doesn't matter. So I want to hear from person A. Person A experiences. What worked? What didn't work? I want to hear what your guys' experience was. Is there a way for me to kind of call on someone?
If you'd like.
All right.
Yes.
All right. All right. I know some of you guys are in here. I've seen you. Renee from Florida, or Chandra, or Anne, or I think I saw, let's see, who is here. I want to hear a person A experience. Doesn't have to be perfect, guys. What did it feel like being person A and going through asking the questions of the CEO who wants you to drop everything? How did that feel? What worked and what didn't work? Kelly, Kristen, Neha, come on, guys. Let's go. Marie, Olivia, Malia. I want to hear you guys. What was your experience as person A? And if it was like, didn't work at all, that's fine too. I just want to hear you guys share it. I will give you a really cool prize if you're the first person to like share. I'm starting to get like, oh yes.
Hi, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes. You didn't
All
call
right,
on
here
me,
comes a
but
brave
that-
soul.
Perfect. So I was just saying that you didn't call on me, but that price thing did the trick.
Nice. Awesome, Shalaka. Love it.
So I'll share my experience. When I was a person A, I was really uncomfortable asking those questions, and that's just typically what I experience even at my work. And I was uncomfortable for two reasons. One is it's difficult to say no for the fear of missing that opportunity. If I ask too many questions, my leadership may find somebody else to go do that, or they may think that I'm not capable of doing it. So that was the most challenging part for me, and it is usually for me.
Yes, yes. And then what happened? Did they walk away in a huff? Did they give the opportunity to someone else? What was the outcome of the conversation when you were person A?
So in our conversation, we did come up with a plan that was mutually agreeable to my leadership and me. So the outcome was the outcome was really positive. So
Yeah, but it was a flavor of no, from what it sounds like.
yes, it was at a later time, or let's come up with a plan. I
Nice.
won't drop everything.
Right? And you survived, and you didn't have to drop everything, and your rubber duckies that were doing so well, and all the things that were going so well, you didn't have to drop everything just because someone had this, like, a sudden idea. I love it, Shalika. Chandra, great to see you here. What was your experience of person A?
So for person A, what was interesting to me was trying to understand where they're coming from, right? And trying to understand, for example, one of the suggestions I had was, say, maybe we want to white label this. Like, we don't have to manufacture the whole thing, but let's just see, get a few, test it out, and that would be an MVP that we could do. So that was interesting to explore in partnership with person B.
So I wanna bring up the word that you said, partnership. This is super, super important, guys. Whenever somebody is saying the word like confrontation or like conflict, it means like we're against each other, like physically or energetically, we're across from each other. The beauty of saying no this way is that you are together trying to solve a problem. Should we put this in the backpack? Should we take this on our expedition or not? Is this going to get us closer to where we want to go as a team? Right? So you got to understand that you are a team with the person who's making a request. Like 9 times out of 10, they're working at your company, right? Like 7 times out of 10, they're your boss. Right? So the partnership component is really, really powerful. Do any of you guys or somebody else want to share your experience of person B? If you guys partnered with Shalika and Chandra and you were the person B, I would love to hear from you and your experience of them saying no in this way. Who were you guys partnered with? Okay, so we have Sushma.
Yes.
Sushma, were you partnered with either Shalika or Chandra? Were you person B for them?
Yes, I was person B with Chandra. Hi,
Right.
Chandra, again. So I had a sense of urgency in the beginning. Like I could feel that because I've been in that position, going to others. As soon as I think Chandra opened up with, well, let me try to understand where you're coming from. I think that was a really good way to open up a dialogue rather than I didn't get a hard no, right? And I've been in that position where I'm just like, no, forget it. You're crazy, go away, right? I've been in that receiving end too. And and when you open up a dialogue with the sense of wanting to understand, right? So then it went into a little bit of a brainstorming session, of, okay, well, and I was also trying to come from a sense of understanding, like, listen, I understand that you own this problem right now, but I have this problem, like, how can we do something about my problem? And I think that's where we went back and forth. I thought overall, I did not feel that the sense of urgency just with her opening up with, let me try to understand you, that reduced the sense of urgency. And because I already felt like I had someone to work with to figure it out, right? So I appreciated that. And I've been in a situation where I still had the sense of urgency throughout the conversation where the other person didn't seem to understand me. So that, I think that was pretty cool. Thank you, Chandra. That was and yeah, I think we went back and forth, and I did feel some level of discomfort because I did try to, although Chandra was very receptive and wanting to find a solution, there was like, okay, we are still not addressing. And then we came and she had a brilliant idea about like white labeling, which was okay, because I was still trying to get some of her time, making a compromise, right? Like, you don't have to drop everything, but can you still kind of help me out, right? So we were in that phase. So I felt some discomfort there because I wanted to say yes to her, idea, or that wanting to say yes to, your team member, even though you still have that urgency. It was that strange, that portion was strange, but then in the end we had a good compromise. I don't know if I'm articulating that well.
Yes.
Like,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So drop in the chat, guys. What are you hearing is working here? What is your takeaway from what Sushma has shared about her conversation with Chandra about what Shalaka has shared. Drop in the chat. What are you hearing them say? What is working? What is working? Right? Because here was a scenario where they said no. And yet the person walked away feeling probably better than in a scenario where somebody could have said yes. Right? So, what is working? I want to see stuff in the chat, guys. Come on, type in stuff, even if it's just like whatever comes up to your mind. I want to hear your takeaways. This is super, super important. And for those of you who are going to listen to this on the recording, because I know Women in Product is going to share that at some point somewhere. And I want you to write down or take note
I have
of what
one.
is working.
I
Go,
want to share
Sharon.
one. I loved it, Sushma, when you said when you said the word brainstorm. I loved it because to me, brainstorm means you're open to ideas, right? So immediately you don't shut yourself off and you give the other person the notion that you're there to hear also what they have to say. You're just there to say no and walk away. And that word you used was perfect. Brainstorm says, yes, I'm open. I want you to bring your ideas and I'm going to bring mine.
Yeah, and you don't have to do it right on the spot, guys. You can just learn how to say, how to validate the person, say, hey, Mr. CEO, love to hear your idea. Gotta run on something. Can I circle back this afternoon and find a time for a quick sync with your assistant, whatever. It doesn't have to be right away. You don't have to feel the necessity to respond right away. Understand that's just your insecurity and you're operating from a false premise. I want you really to visualize, guys, all of you, and this will be homework for the next week, and we'll be seeing who's completing the homework, and there's going to be a prize associated with it. And Shalak is already going to get that prize, but we're actually going to have you guys do a private group coaching call with me at a future date if you complete this homework. So, Saron, do you want to kind of scroll to the homework page? Hopefully. Okay. I want you guys to practice this vetting process in at least one work conversation in the next week. And I want you to post about it in the Women in Product Facebook group. Now, I believe that there's going to be the video or something else from this blender is going to be up in the Facebook group. And you guys will have a chance to then post your homework underneath. But I want you to don't give us any confidential information. Please don't get anyone in trouble. No confidential information about specifics of what you're working on, but just give enough of a context so we understand. Extra bonus points if you guys go live inside the Facebook group. I work with, in our groups, a Career Climb. This is one of the biggest things that people have breakthroughs around, going live in Facebook. I want you to describe how you felt through the vetting process in your work conversation this next week. If you intentionally listened, if you were curious, if you're open, if you established common ground, and what the outcome was. What was your answer? And really, guys, own your answers. Own your answers, like your body language, your everything. As open and as curious as you are, if you try to go to a climber on that, on that photo where we had all our expedition gear laid out, if you had tried to come up to me or any other climber on the expedition and be like, Lisa, would you carry this 500-page, hardcover book for me up to the Denali? I'll be like, not doing that. Thank you. You're sweet. The book's amazing, but I got a light Kindle, and even that's going to get cached and not going to go to the last camp because it's too heavy. right? So own your answers. The fact that you guys are being curious and open does not give you an excuse to be a doormat when it comes down to owning your answer, right? Just want to drive that point home. Own your answer. If it's a no, it's going to be a sweet no. If it's a yes, it's going to be an enthusiastic yes, right? And so if you like this, I also want to invite you to join me. We are at Career Climb are doing quarterly, and the next one is coming up Monday, September 6th. We're doing quarterly product VP challenges, and these challenges are a 5-day plus, extra couple of days over the weekend, daily live events and live calls, just like this one, where we're getting together in a group and I coach you guys through the climb framework, the keys to climbing your career. So if you like this, definitely, go to productvpchallenge.com and register. You'll get on our email list and you'll get all the call links for when we have them. So I am super excited to see some of you guys there. It's going to be super fun. And I want you guys to do your homework. Now that we're wrapped up, I want to see if there's any other comments, takeaways, ahas that you guys want to share. You can stop sharing, Saron. I don't need my photo up there. Anyone else want to share an aha or takeaway?
Lisa, this was amazing. Thank you so much. I love that you shared. Yeah, I love that you shared techniques that people can walk away with and use today, right? You can go into a meeting today and use the technique that you shared. But I also love the networking aspect of it, because one of the things that I've learned about women in product is that one of the things we do best is learn from each other, right? When we're sharing and talking to each other and talking about how we work through different challenges we might be having. So if you want to keep connecting and networking with the other ladies that joined us today, Hopin is going to stay open. You can still blend with other people that are here in the session if you connected with someone you still wanted to talk to, if you wanted to connect with other people that are here in the session, we will keep it open. So from Women in Product, from myself, thank you for joining our first blender. Lisa, it's always a pleasure to join you on stage. It's always a pleasure just to hear and to learn from you. So thank you very much.
I love it, guys. As you can tell, I'm super passionate about this, super passionate about helping women climb their careers. And you guys are not alone. You have so many wonderful resources here at Women in Product, all these wonderful communities and resources that are available around you. Step up, take advantage of them, definitely connect. This is all about connection. Come join, our next product VP challenge, join future blenders from Women in Product. Super, super excited to be here and support this amazing cause and support you guys.
Thank you. So if you stick around for the blender, I'm going to be popping in and popping out as well. So hopefully I'll get a chance to meet a few of you and have a quick conversation.
And I'll be there as well.
All right, everybody, thank you for joining us.